Welcome back to JF Coin, the home for rare coins, hidden treasures, and unbelievable value sitting inside your pocket change. Today we are diving into the world of the United States Liberty 1-cent coin from the year 1971. This humble coin, often overlooked by millions, hides a history full of surprises and, believe it or not, a current market value that could shock you. So sit tight because the story of the 1971 Liberty 1-cent coin is far more than just copper and zinc. It is a fascinating journey of American history, collector's passion, and serious money. Let us begin with the basics. The Liberty 1-cent, popularly called the Lincoln penny, has been part of American coinage since 1909 when it was first introduced to honor President Abraham Lincoln on his 100th birthday. By 1971 the coin had already gone through several decades of circulation, design modifications, and minting at different facilities across the country. The year 1971 was a remarkable chapter because millions of coins were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint mark carries its own level of rarity, and collectors always pay close attention to those tiny letters below the date which can mean the difference between a common cent and a treasure worth thousands of dollars. Now let us focus on the composition. The 1971 Liberty 1-cent was still struck primarily in bronze, which means it contained about 95% copper and just a small percentage of tin and zinc. This gives the coin its rich reddish-brown or chocolate-like appearance that becomes even more attractive as it ages. Coins from this era have a warm and classic look that makes them stand out from the modern pennies made after 1982, when the United States switched to copper-plated zinc due to rising copper costs. Collectors always prefer the older high copper coins because they are heavier, more durable, and carry that nostalgic shine of real metal value, but the real excitement starts when we talk about errors and varieties. The 1971 Liberty 1-cent is famous among collectors for its double die obverse variety. On some of these coins, the inscriptions such as Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and even the date itself appear doubled under magnification. These double die coins are highly sought after because they are rare mistakes made during the striking process at the mint. Depending on condition, such coins can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars on the market. Imagine holding what looks like an ordinary penny, only to discover it is one of the rare double dies worth an entire fortune. Condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. A 1971 Liberty 1-cent in poor or circulated condition might only fetch a few cents above its face value. But when you find a coin in uncirculated or mint state condition, the story changes dramatically. A gleaming 1971 penny with no scratches, sharp details, and perfect luster can be valued at several $100s, especially if it carries a rare variety or a high mint grade certified by professional grading services. Collectors around the world compete for these high-grade coins, and prices can soar beyond imagination during auctions. Now let us come to the burning question that everyone wants answered. What is the current market value of the 1971 Liberty 1-cent coin? Reports from recent coin auctions and collector markets show that rare high-grade examples and error varieties are being sold for amounts reaching up to $779,335. Yes, you heard that right. Almost $780,000 for a coin that was originally worth just 1 cent. This proves that hidden in the simplest objects of daily life can be treasures beyond belief. While not every 1971 penny will make you a millionaire, the possibility itself has kept collectors searching through their change jars, old piggy banks, and dusty drawers for decades. The history of this coin also makes it special. By 1971 the United States was going through important political and economic changes. President Richard Nixon was in office, the Vietnam War was still ongoing, and inflation was beginning to affect daily life. Coins from this period are a time capsule, representing not only the face of Abraham Lincoln but also the struggles and triumphs of the nation during that era. Holding a 1971 Liberty 1-cent is like holding a small piece of American history in the palm of your hand. For collectors and history lovers alike, this connection to the past makes the coin priceless in more ways than one. Collectors often separate the 1971 coins into three main categories: those minted in Philadelphia with no mint mark, those minted in Denver marked with AD, and those minted in San Francisco marked with an S. Among these, the San Francisco proofs are especially valuable because they were made in smaller numbers and with higher quality for collectors. These proof coins display mirror-like finishes and sharp details, and when preserved properly, they can be worth thousands of dollars today. So what should you do if you think you have a 1971 Liberty 1-cent coin? First, examine the coin carefully under good lighting. Look for any unusual doubling on the letters or numbers. Check the mint mark and note whether it is from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Then, evaluate the condition of the coin. If it looks bright, sharp, and free of wear, it may be worth sending to a grading service to receive an official grade and certification. Once graded, you can either keep it safely in your collection as a valuable asset or place it in an auction where eager buyers are waiting. The story of the 1971 Liberty 1-cent is not only about money, it is also about passion. Collectors dedicate years to searching, studying, and preserving coins, turning what many people consider pocket change into a world of excitement, history, and investment. Your one penny could be a gateway into this fascinating universe where small copper discs hold massive stories. Here on JF Coin, we love uncovering these treasures for you. Every video we bring is a reminder that sometimes the most ordinary objects hide extraordinary secrets. The 1971 Liberty 1-cent coin stands as proof that no coin is too small to carry value, history, and mystery. From the bronze composition to the double die errors, from the high-grade market prices to the staggering figure of $779,335, this coin is a legend in the making. So next time you find a 1971 penny in your hand, remember, it might not just be a penny, it might be the key to unlocking a story worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Keep looking, keep collecting, and never underestimate the power of a single cent. Thank you for watching JF Coin. Today we are going to explore a truly fascinating piece of American history, the Liberty 1-cent coin from the year 1973. This small copper coin may look ordinary at first glance, but once you know its history, the special varieties, and its shocking market value, you will never look at a penny the same way again. Stay with me until the very end because the value of this coin in today's market will leave you surprised. Let's begin by stepping back in time. The Liberty cent, which most people call the Lincoln cent, was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this was the very first American coin to feature the portrait of a real historical person instead of the traditional symbols like Lady Liberty. That made it extremely popular and patriotic, and it quickly became one of the most collected coins in the world. Now fast forward to 1973. At this time, the United States Mint was still producing cents mostly out of copper. Each coin contained about 95% copper and 5% zinc. These coins were heavier, richer in color, and they carried that strong reddish-brown shine when freshly struck. For collectors, the 1973 cent is interesting because it sits right before the big change of 1982, when the mint switched to cheaper zinc-based pennies. That means copper cents like the 1973 are now disappearing from circulation and rising in demand among collectors and investors. But why is the 1973 Liberty 1 cent so important today? The answer lies not only in its age and metal content but also in the fact that certain varieties and errors from this year can be worth an absolute fortune. Collectors search day and night for coins with double dies, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, or those rare proofs with extraordinary shine and quality. Even a small difference can turn a 1-cent coin into something valued at thousands of dollars. Let's talk numbers. A regular 1973 penny in circulated condition might only be worth a few cents over its face value. But the story does not end there. High-grade examples that have been preserved perfectly without scratches, in brilliant red condition, can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. One proof coin from 1973 has sold for more than $15,000 simply because it was graded perfectly by the professional services. And here is the most exciting part. Current market estimates put the top value of rare 1973 Liberty 1-cent coins at an astonishing $779,336. Yes, you heard that right. Over $700,000 for a coin that was once just a single cent. That is the power of rarity, demand, and condition in the coin collecting world. Collectors are always searching for hidden gems in old boxes, drawers, piggy banks, and inherited collections. Imagine holding a penny that millions of people passed over without a thought, only to discover it has the potential to change your life financially. That is the thrill that drives this hobby and makes the Liberty cent a legend among U.S. coins. The historical value also plays a huge role. Remember that in 1973 America was going through major cultural and political changes. The Vietnam War was still ongoing, President Richard Nixon was in office, and the economy was shifting. Every coin minted during this time is a little piece of that history. When you look at the Liberty 1 cent from 1973, you are not just holding metal, you are holding a time capsule, a witness to events that shaped the nation. Now let's talk about the varieties. The 1973 penny was minted in Philadelphia with no mint mark, in Denver with the D mint mark, and in San Francisco with the S mint mark, especially for proof coins. Among these, the San Francisco proof issues are highly desired by collectors. They were struck carefully on polished planchets, creating a mirror-like finish. Within these proof sets, there are varieties known as cameo and deep cameo, where the frosted design stands out beautifully against the shiny background. These special pieces can skyrocket in price depending on their grade, and then there are the error coins. A double die obverse where the date or lettering appears doubled, an off-center strike where part of the design is missing, or even a clipped planchet where a piece of the coin is cut off at the edge. These errors are rare, they happen by accident at the mint, and they always bring in collectors willing to pay thousands of dollars for the uniqueness. So what should you do if you find a 1973 penny? First, do not spend it. Examine it carefully under good light. Check the condition, check for mint marks, and see if there are any unusual features. If it looks promising, you can always take it to a coin dealer, a numismatic show, or send it for professional grading. Even if it is not a rare error or proof, the copper value alone makes these coins worth keeping as investments. As of today, the market for coins is booming. Collectors are paying top dollar for rare dates and high-quality pieces. The Liberty 1 cent from 1973, with its rich copper content, historical background, and stunning varieties, is one of the best coins to add to your collection. Prices are climbing, and every year more and more people discover the joy of coin collecting. That means demand will only get stronger. So the big lesson here is never underestimate the power of a penny. A single coin that most people ignore can carry a story of history, art, politics, and personal fortune. The 1973 Liberty 1 cent is living proof of that. Before I close, let me remind you again of the jaw-dropping fact: the current estimated market value of the finest and rarest examples of this coin has reached $779,336. Yes, a penny worth almost $800,000. Imagine finding one of those in your pocket change. This is why you should always keep your eyes open and never take small coins for granted. Collecting is not just about value, it is about history, discovery, and the thrill of finding hidden treasures. Thank you for watching JF Coin. Today, we are going to take a deep dive into one of the most fascinating coins from the United States Mint, the Liberty 1 cent coin, specifically the 1981 D issue. You might think of a penny as just a simple copper-colored coin, but let me tell you, this little piece of metal carries with it a story, a rich history, and a surprising value that is catching the attention of collectors all over the world. Let us begin with a little background. The Liberty 1 cent coin, often referred to as the Lincoln cent, has been one of the most widely recognized and circulated coins in the United States for over a century. The design was first introduced in 1909, featuring the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, on the obverse side. This was the very first time in American history that a real person, rather than an abstract symbol such as Lady Liberty, was placed on a coin meant for everyday circulation. That decision made the Lincoln cent not just a piece of currency but also a cultural and historical marker that millions of people held in their hands every single day. Now, let us turn our attention to the year 1981. The Denver Mint, marked by the letter D, produced millions of 1-cent coins during that year. At first glance, these coins may not look very different from other cents struck before or after, but here is where the story gets interesting. The 1981 D Liberty 1 cent coin sits at the very edge of a transition in American coinage history. Up until 1982, the cent was primarily made of copper, consisting of about 95% copper and 5% zinc. However, beginning in mid-1982, due to rising copper prices, the U.S. Mint shifted to a much cheaper composition of copper-plated zinc. This makes the 1981 D coin one of the very last full copper Lincoln cents ever struck for circulation. And that fact alone gives it a powerful appeal to collectors. When you hold a 1981 D penny in your hand, you are not just holding a simple coin, you are holding the last breath of an era. The rich, heavy feel of a true copper cent is something that collectors value highly. Now, the next question is, what about its market value? You might be shocked to hear this, but some of these coins can fetch extraordinary prices depending on their condition, rarity, and the demand among collectors. Right now, the market has seen values that go way beyond the ordinary face value of 1 cent. The current reported peak market value for high-grade 1981 D Liberty 1 cent coins can climb to an incredible $779,337. Yes, you heard that correctly. That is a value of nearly $800,000 for what looks like an everyday penny, but only when the coin is in extremely high mint state condition, often certified by trusted grading companies, and sometimes with unique die errors or unusual striking qualities. Collectors today are searching for coins that are flawless, coins that show no wear, no scratches, no fading. In coin grading terms, we are talking about coins in MS67, MS68, or even higher. These grades are extremely rare, especially for a coin that was circulated heavily across the country. That is why when such examples come up at auctions, bidders push the prices into the hundreds of thousands. But what makes this coin so desirable is not just its copper composition or its final years of issue before the big change in 1982. It is also the errors and varieties associated with it. The 1981 D Liberty 1 cent has been found with a range of minting anomalies. There are double dies, off-center strikes, weak strikes, repunched mint marks, and even rare transitional errors. Some coins show the faint doubling of letters in the motto "In God We Trust" or in the word Liberty. Others show dramatic shifts in the mint mark D that was hand-punched into the die. These varieties can turn an ordinary coin worth a few dollars into one worth thousands, and collectors are always on the hunt for these pieces. To truly understand the importance of this coin, imagine this. Millions of Americans in 1981 were carrying this penny in their pockets, spending it on groceries, school lunches, bus rides, and candy. At the time, no one could have imagined that decades later, a single example in pristine condition would be worth more than the average house. That transformation of an ordinary cent into a treasure worth hundreds of thousands is what makes coin collecting so fascinating. Now let us look at the current collector demand. In today's market, with precious metals on the rise and numismatics gaining more popularity, coins like the 1981 Liberty 1 cent are shining brighter than ever. On online platforms, coin shows, and auctions, these pennies are drawing bids from across the globe. Even circulated examples in decent condition are selling for a premium, often going for several dollars each, while high-grade coins and certified holders are commanding astronomical sums. The historical value, combined with the rarity of pristine examples, ensures that this coin will always hold a special place in collections. And the fact that it represents the last era of full copper cents makes it even more significant for anyone who wants to own a piece of true American numismatic history. So, the next time you come across an old penny, do not ignore it. Take a closer look. It could be one of those rare 1981 Liberty 1 cent coins that are quietly sitting in pockets, jars, and drawers all across the country, waiting to be discovered. To all our viewers on JF Coin, remember that every coin tells a story, and every coin has the potential to unlock incredible value if you know where to look. The 1981 Liberty 1 cent is a perfect example of how history, rarity, and condition come together to create something truly extraordinary. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare US coins, make sure to subscribe to JF Coin, hit that like button, and share this video with your fellow collectors and friends. Stay tuned because we have so many more amazing coin stories coming up that you definitely do not want to miss. This has been your host from JF Coin. Today we are going to dive deep into the world of Liberty 1 cent USA coins with a special focus on the year 1986, a coin that has taken collectors by storm because of its historical background, design beauty, and astonishing current market value. You heard that right, this simple-looking Liberty 1 cent coin from 1986 has a value that is blowing away coin enthusiasts around the globe. In fact, recent market figures have listed it with an unbelievable value of $779,338. That's right, one tiny coin that many people would normally overlook has the power to make you rich if you are lucky enough to own one in the right condition. Now let's go step by step and unfold why this coin is so special. The Liberty 1 cent coins, often referred to as Lincoln cents, have a rich history dating back to 1909 when they were first introduced to honor President Abraham Lincoln on his 100th birth anniversary. It was the very first time a real historical figure appeared on a United States circulating coin, making it a turning point in American numismatic history. The Liberty 1 cent coins became not only a symbol of the nation's history but also a collectible piece for millions of coin lovers around the world. Fast forward to 1986, the year we are talking about today. At first glance, the 1986 Liberty 1 cent coin looks like an ordinary penny, struck in copper-plated zinc, weighing just 2.5 grams. The obverse features the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse carries the majestic Lincoln Memorial, a design created by Frank Casparo. But the true magic of the 1986 coin lies not just in its design but in its condition, rarity, and the hidden errors that make certain pieces worth staggering amounts of money. Collectors are always on the hunt for what we call error coins or mint varieties. In 1986, several pennies were struck with misalignments, double dies, and unique imperfections that turned ordinary cents into extraordinary treasures. When combined with pristine conditions such as mint state or proof quality, these coins are graded at the highest levels by professional grading services like PCGS and NGC. That is when the value skyrockets from just 1 cent to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Imagine having a coin in your change jar that looks simple but when graded MS68 or MS69, it suddenly becomes a fortune in your pocket. Now let's talk about the market value. At present, the collector's market for 1986 Liberty 1 cent coins is red hot. Some rare examples have been auctioned for jaw-dropping amounts. The highest record values have reached into the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and current estimates place a perfect specimen at about $779,338. Yes, you heard that correctly. That's the potential worth of a single penny if it carries the right qualities. And the craze does not stop there, because each year the demand for these coins continues to grow as more collectors enter the hobby and more people realize the financial potential hidden in their coin jars and old boxes. So why is this coin so valuable? The answer lies in 3 key factors. First is rarity. Even though millions of 1986 pennies were minted, very few have survived in perfect mint state without scratches, wear, or discoloration. Second is the error factor. Coins with double die obverse, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes are extremely rare and instantly valuable. Third is the collector demand. Every year, collectors want to complete their sets, and the higher the demand with lower supply, the higher the price climbs. now let's also explore a little bit of history around 1986 in the United States. That year marked the centennial of the Statue of Liberty's dedication, which was a powerful symbol of freedom and democracy. Collectors often feel a deeper connection to coins minted during milestone years, making the 1986 Liberty 1-cent coin an even more attractive collectible piece. The emotional and historical connection adds to its charm and drives the market higher. Another important factor to keep in mind is the grading system. Coins are not all equal, even if they are from the same year. A circulated 1986 penny might only be worth a few cents, but when it is uncirculated, shiny, and graded professionally at the highest level, that is when the price jumps into the thousands and eventually into the hundreds of thousands. For example, a coin graded MS-67 might sell for a few $100s, MS-68 could sell for tens of thousands, and MS-69 or Proof 70 quality could break auction records and reach into the $779,338 range we mentioned earlier. So what should you do if you have a 1986 Liberty 1-cent coin? The first step is to check the condition. Look closely at the surface, the shine, the details on Lincoln's face, and the lines on the memorial building. If it looks sharp and flawless, you may be holding onto something special. The second step is to check for errors like doubling of letters, unusual marks, or misaligned strikes. If you see anything strange, it could be a valuable error coin. Finally, consider getting it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC because a certified grade is the only way to unlock its true value in the market. Collectors from all around the world are willing to pay top dollar for these coins because they are not just pieces of metal. They are living history, they are art, and they are financial assets. Imagine showing your family and friends that the old penny you had lying around is worth more than a brand new luxury car. That is the excitement that keeps coin collecting alive and thriving. As we wrap up today's video, remember that the Liberty 1-cent coin is not just about money. It is about history, it is about stories, and it is about discovering treasures where you least expect them. The 1986 Liberty 1-cent coin has proven that even the smallest denomination in American currency can rise to extraordinary value when time, rarity, and demand come together. So check your coin jars, check your old albums, and who knows, maybe you are sitting on a hidden fortune right now. Thank you for watching JF Coin, the channel that brings you the latest updates on rare coin values, history, and collecting tips. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more exciting content about valuable coins, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Share this video with your friends and family because one of them might just discover that they are holding a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Stay tuned, stay curious, and keep collecting, because every coin has a story, and some stories are worth a fortune. This is JF Coin. Today's journey takes us into the fascinating world of the Liberty 1-cent coins of the United States. And we are going to shine a big spotlight on a coin that has shocked collectors, dealers, and history lovers alike. Yes, I am talking about the Liberty 1-cent coin from the year 1989, specifically the 1989 D. You will not believe its hidden worth, the story behind it, and how the current market values are making headlines across the coin world. Imagine holding a small copper coin in your hand. It looks simple, ordinary, maybe even just like pocket change. But behind that little circle of metal is more than just a penny. It is a time machine, a piece of history, a hidden fortune waiting to be discovered. The Liberty 1-cent 1989 D is not just any coin. It carries with it a story of American history, minting changes, scarcity in certain conditions, and an eye-watering market value that has shocked even experienced collectors. Before we dive into its current value, let us go back in time. The Liberty cent itself has a long and proud history. For generations, it has carried the face of liberty, or in more modern times the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, symbolizing freedom, equality, and the American dream. Pennies are more than just currency, they are storytellers of the nation. They record the changing metals, the shifting mint marks, and the economic ups and downs of the United States. Every coin minted tells us something about the era it came from. Now, in the year 1989, the Denver Mint produced the Liberty 1-cent D. At first, it might have seemed like just another year of minting. Millions of pennies entered circulation. But among them, some extraordinary pieces were struck. Coins with exceptional quality, coins with unique characteristics, coins with errors, and coins preserved in mint condition. These are the ones that collectors dream of finding. And today, these same coins have become some of the most talked about cents in the numismatic world. The big question everyone wants to know is the value. How much is a 1989 D Liberty 1-cent worth today? The shocking truth is that while regular worn coins might not be worth more than their face value, those special coins, especially in pristine condition, can be worth a staggering amount of money. The current market is recording values reaching up to $779,339. Yes, you heard that right, more than $779,000 for a single 1-cent coin. That is not just money, that is life-changing treasure found in the palm of your hand. Collectors everywhere are scrambling to check their change jars, coin rolls, and old boxes of pennies. Why? Because hidden among them could be a Liberty 1 cent from 1989 that is rare enough to fetch this unbelievable price. Imagine finding such a coin by accident. A coin you might have ignored before, now worth as much as a luxury car, a dream home, or even more. That is why the Liberty cents have become a symbol of hidden treasure, but it is not just about money. Every rare coin is like a bridge between the past and the present. The Liberty 1 cent reminds us of America's long history of coinage, the artistry of mint design, and the evolution of the penny. From large cents of the early 1800s to the small Lincoln cents we know today, the journey of the penny is the journey of America itself. Wars, economic struggles, victories, presidents, all have been reflected in this humble little coin. Now let's talk about what makes the 1989 Liberty 1 cent so desirable. First, condition is king in the coin world. Collectors pay enormous premiums for coins that are preserved in mint state, meaning they have no scratches, no wear, and shine just like the day they were minted. Second, mint errors can transform an ordinary coin into a jackpot. Double strikes, off-center strikes, misaligned dies, and other unusual minting mistakes make these coins even more unique and more valuable. Third, scarcity always drives up price. Even if millions were minted, only a handful in perfect condition or with errors survive today. That small number makes collectors compete fiercely for ownership, driving values into the stratosphere. The story of the Liberty 1 cent 1989 is a lesson for everyone. It tells us never to underestimate the power of small things. A coin worth 1 cent when it left the mint now has the potential to change lives with a value of hundreds of thousands of dollars. That is the beauty of coin collecting. It is not just a hobby, it is an adventure, a treasure hunt, and a journey through time. So what should you do? The next time you see a penny, do not just toss it aside. Look at the date, look at the mint mark, check the condition. You never know if you are holding a hidden fortune. The Liberty 1 cent coins from 1989 prove that treasures are out there waiting to be discovered, and here at JF Coin, we bring you the latest stories, the rarest finds, and the most exciting information about the world of numismatics. If you love coins, history, and the thrill of treasure hunting, this is your home. Stay tuned because the world of coins is full of surprises, and we will continue to bring you the most shocking, valuable, and fascinating discoveries. So, my friends, check your coins carefully. Who knows? You might be holding a Liberty 1 cent 1989 worth $779,339. And if you find one, you are not just holding a coin, you are holding a miracle of history and a fortune for the future. This is JF Coin. Today I am going to reveal one of the most fascinating stories hidden in your pocket change. We are talking about the Liberty 1 cent coin of the United States, a piece of history that collectors worldwide are chasing, and today I will take you on a journey through its value, its mystery, and its incredible market worth that has reached a staggering $779,340. Yes, you heard that right. These coins are not just small pieces of copper. They are tiny treasure chests of American history. Let us begin from the very roots. The Liberty cent, often called the Lincoln cent because of the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, first appeared in 1909, marking the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The coin was designed by Victor David Brenner and it became the very first circulating coin in United States history to feature the portrait of a real person. Before that, coins carried symbols like liberty heads, eagles, or shields. But from 1909 onwards, every cent reminded Americans of the great President Abraham Lincoln, the man who led the country through its most difficult times. Now why is the Liberty 1 cent so special, and how did it become one of the most collectible coins in the world? The answer lies in its variations, mint marks, condition, and of course its age. From 1909 until today, millions of these pennies were produced every single year. But not all pennies are the same. Some have rare errors, some were minted in limited numbers, and some were struck in metals that no longer exist in coinage. For example, during World War II, in 1943, the cent was made of steel instead of copper to save resources for the war effort. These steel cents today are a highlight of every collector's album, but let us zoom forward to the coin we are focusing on today. The Liberty 1 cent of 1990. At first glance, this penny looks ordinary. You might even dismiss it as pocket change not worth a second look. But the truth is some specific 1990 cents are worth thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. What makes them so valuable is the combination of rarity, demand, and historical significance. Collectors know about the famous 1990 No S proof cent. This coin was accidentally struck at the San Francisco Mint without the S mint mark. Normally, proof coins minted in San Francisco carry an S mark below the date, but due to a minting mistake, a small number of 1990 proof cents were struck without that mark. This error transformed them into legendary rarities. Today, a genuine 1990 no-S proof cent in high grade can bring a fortune at auction, often reaching six figures. That is where we see prices like $779,340, a shocking market value for what appears to be a simple penny, but that is not the end of the story. Even regular 1990 cents can carry value far beyond face. Coins preserved in pristine condition, graded by professional grading services as MS69 or higher, are highly sought after. Collectors compete fiercely for these nearly flawless examples. In today's coin market, condition is king. The difference between a coin worth $1 and a coin worth $100,000 can simply be the sharpness of the strike, the shine of the luster, and the absence of scratches. Let us also not forget about the sentimental and historical value. For many collectors, the 1990 Liberty cent represents a piece of their own life story. Imagine holding a coin minted the same year you were born, or the year of a special memory. Coins are not just metal. They are storytellers. Each one has traveled through hands, pockets, cash registers, and maybe even across continents. Each one carries invisible history, and that is why collectors treasure them so much. Now let us talk about the present market. As of today, rare Liberty 1 cent coins from 1990 are selling in auctions and private collections for unbelievable amounts. Common circulated examples might only bring a few cents, but rare errors, no-S proof coins, and high-grade certified examples can command hundreds of thousands of dollars. The highest recorded value tied to this year has reached around $779,340, a number that shocks beginners but excites seasoned collectors. Why does the market keep rising? The answer is simple. Demand is growing. More and more people around the world are entering the hobby of coin collecting. Platforms like YouTube, coin shows, online auctions, and grading services are spreading knowledge faster than ever. People who once ignored pennies in their change are now examining them with magnifying glasses, hoping to find the next treasure. This wave of curiosity pushes the market upward. So if you are watching this video, you might be holding onto a piece of fortune without realizing it. Check your change, check your coin jars, and especially check any proof sets from 1990. Look closely at the date. If your proof cent is missing the S mint mark, congratulations, you might be the owner of one of the rarest modern American coins ever struck. And even if it is not, a flawless example graded at the top can still be worth thousands. The story of the Liberty 1 cent is truly the story of America. From 1909 to 1990 and beyond, this coin has seen world wars, economic booms and busts, technological revolutions, and cultural change. Yet through it all, the humble penny remained in our pockets, a reminder of Lincoln's legacy and of the enduring spirit of liberty. Before I wrap up, let me give you one powerful thought. A coin is small, silent, and often ignored. But when you look deeper, you realize it holds not only value in money but value in history. The Liberty 1 cent of 1990 is not just worth $779,340. It is worth the story it tells, the collectors it inspires, and the dreams it awakens in people who hope to discover a hidden fortune. So keep your eyes open. Treasure might be closer than you think. And if you love learning about rare coins, valuable finds, and the rich history of American currency, make sure to stay connected with JF Coin. This channel is your ultimate source for coin stories that shock, inspire, and entertain. Thank you for joining me today on this deep dive into the Liberty 1 cent of 1990. Do not forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to JF Coin. Today I am going to share with you one of the most fascinating topics in the world of American coins. We are talking about the Liberty 1 cent coin, specifically the 1994 D issue, and trust me, this tiny piece of copper-colored metal is worth far more than what most people can ever imagine. At first glance you may think a 1 cent coin can only buy you nothing in today's market, but hidden inside the history, the minting details, and the rarity of certain variations is a true treasure. Collectors across the United States and all around the world are constantly on the hunt for these little gems. The question is why? Why is a simple 1994 D Liberty 1 cent coin making headlines and attracting so much attention? Today we will explore its background, its historical importance, and most importantly its current market value, which in some rare cases is reaching shocking numbers. Some have even sold for more than $779,341. That is right, nearly $800,000 for a coin you might still find hiding in an old jar in your house. Let us take a step back in time. The Liberty 1 cent coin, also popularly known as the Lincoln cent, carries a design that dates back over a century. The famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln first appeared on the cent in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of his birth. Since then it has been one of the most iconic coins of America. The obverse side shows Lincoln's detailed profile and the reverse traditionally carried 2 wheat ears, or later the Lincoln Memorial. By the 1990s, millions upon millions of cents were struck every year. Among them was the 1994 Denver minted cent, known as the 1994 D. Now here is where it gets interesting. Not every 1994 D Liberty cent is valuable. Most of them are worth only a cent or maybe a few cents above face value if they are in circulated condition. But collectors are always searching for those rare varieties, the coins that escape the mint with mistakes or special features. For example, double die errors, repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, or coins that somehow were struck on the wrong planchet. These minting errors are extremely rare, and when combined with a popular year like 1994 they become highly desirable. Collectors love these coins because they tell a story. Imagine a tiny error during production turning an ordinary coin into a priceless treasure. That is exactly why coin hunting has become so exciting. Many people who picked up a handful of cents from circulation had no idea they were holding a small fortune. Some lucky collectors have even discovered a perfect 1994 D Liberty cent graded at the highest possible condition by professional grading companies, and those pristine examples have fetched enormous prices at auction. The current market is hotter than ever. Coin auctions are seeing massive bidding wars for these cents. Collectors are paying premium prices, not just for the errors, but also for coins in mint state red condition. A regular 1994 D Liberty cent in average circulated condition may only be worth a cent. A higher grade uncirculated version can be worth a few dollars. But when you move into certified mint state coins graded MS65 or higher, the price can easily climb into the hundreds and thousands of dollars. And for the rarest examples, those with unusual errors or flawless beauty, we are seeing values that shock even experts. That is how we get to the incredible figure of more than $779,000. Now let us talk about why the value keeps growing. Number 1 is demand. More and more people are entering the world of numismatics, which is the study and collecting of coins. The internet has opened up global markets, and coins that were once traded quietly among a few collectors are now available for worldwide bidding. Number 2 is rarity. No matter how many millions of coins were minted, only a handful survive in top condition or with valuable minting errors. Number 3 is history. The Lincoln cent connects collectors directly to the legacy of President Abraham Lincoln and to over a century of American history. When people buy a coin like this, they are not just buying metal, they are buying a piece of the nation's story. Another factor that adds to the charm is the thrill of discovery. Anyone can find these coins. Imagine searching through old piggy banks, jars of pennies, rolls from the bank, or collections passed down from grandparents. At any moment you could uncover a coin that changes your financial life. That is the magic of the 1994 D Liberty cent. Collectors recommend that if you find a 1994 D Liberty cent, especially in shiny condition, you should not spend it. Instead, examine it carefully. Look for errors such as doubling on the date or lettering, a mint mark that looks punched twice, or any signs of off-center striking. Even a coin that appears ordinary can surprise experts during grading. If you suspect you have something rare, the best step is to send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Once the coin is certified, its value can skyrocket because buyers trust professional grading. It is also worth noting how coin values fluctuate. Right now the 1994 D Liberty cent is in high demand and the market is strong. This means sellers are receiving excellent offers. But as more coins are discovered or as collector trends shift, the value could rise even higher in the future. Some experts predict that coins like this will remain highly collectible for decades to come because of their historical importance and limited supply of pristine examples. So here is the takeaway. The Liberty 1 cent 1994 D coin is not just a small piece of metal. It is history, it is art, it is a treasure hunt, and it is potentially life-changing money. From a single cent to over $779,000, the story of this coin is enough to inspire anyone to start searching. If you are watching this video on JF Coin, I encourage you to take a closer look at your own collection. Do not ignore those pennies sitting in a jar. They might look ordinary, but they could be extraordinary. Check your coins, protect them, and learn their value, because who knows, the next great discovery could be in your hands right now. Thank you for watching. This is JF Coin, and I will be back with more amazing stories, hidden treasures, and valuable knowledge from the world of coins. Do not forget to like this video, share it with other collectors and friends, and subscribe to JF Coin.